I wore the necklace X gave me to our anniversary dinner. My husband recognized it instantly. I wore the necklace that my ex gave me. I wore it to the anniversary dinner that my husband planned for us. I didn't think he would recognize it. That necklace had been in my closet for 5 years. I never wore it, but I didn't throw it away either. My husband knew that, but I still foolishly thought he wouldn't remember. Sam had never been jealous of Dave. He knew about my past with him. But I never expected his reaction that day. Actually, the truth is, I wore that necklace that day despite my husband. I was angry with him that morning. I expected some sort of gift from him, not just the anniversary dinner, but Sam never got me anything. But once Sam saw that necklace on my neck the moment I arrived at that restaurant, he flipped. It was like a switch went off in his head. And honestly, since that night, my life has just been total hell. You're probably wondering why my husband would flip over something like a necklace. But the problem isn't just with the necklace. It was the person involved. I never stopped speaking to Dave. Well, I did for a while, but then we reconnected 2 years after I met Sam. By that time, I was already married to Sam. Dave was the absolute love of my life. I literally lived for him back when we were together. We even lived together throughout our university days. We were known as a campus couple, especially because we were in the same department. Because of how in love with Dave I was, I did everything he asked, both good or bad. I did his assignments, helped him with his courses, and to pass. He in return would promise me that we would get married immediately after school. I knew that Dave was cheating on me even back then, but I didn't mind. I chose to ignore that he slept around. I didn't mind that he would party hard, get drunk, and sometimes hit me. I just strongly believed that he loved me. And another reason I couldn't leave him at that point was because of the money. I didn't exactly grow up with a rich family. My parents struggled with my school fees, and we barely got by. But after I met Dave, whose parents owned a multinational company, I was made. He spent lavishly on me, especially after I caught him cheating. He would buy me expensive gifts as an apology. The necklace that got me in this mess in the first place was one of those gifts. He got it for my birthday, which came one day after another argument we had. I kept making excuses for him in my head. I even stopped being friends with any lady, especially the ones I knew would catch his attention. I even became a stalker because of him, nearly got arrested for harassing a girl too. She had wanted to become his girlfriend too. She kept hanging around him, and I was angry and went to threaten her. But somehow we ended up fighting and were caught by the school's security. Dave didn't support me. He had instead gotten angry and even broke up with me immediately I got back home. Then he forced me to move out after the breakup. I was heartbroken. I thought that the world was against me. But then, a year after the painful breakup with Dave, and I was able to graduate from school somehow, I met Sam. Sam was the managing director of the company I applied to for work. He saw me when I came for a job interview at that company, although I didn't get the job because they had someone better. It was later that Sam told me that they chose the other person because he had some connections to their boss. Sam had taken my details from the interview, and he texted me. At first, I was extremely annoyed, but then I got to know him, and he was really kind and sweet to me. He was nothing like Dave, and I thought dating someone entirely different from him would be fun. Although Sam isn't as rich as Dave, he still took care of me. He didn't buy expensive gifts for me, but he bought me cute things, and I really did like it. We got married a year after meeting, and I settled for becoming a full housewife. I wasn't ready to work anyway. We were going to start our small family, and I was glad to go with that. But that happiness didn't last. I was starting to get dissatisfied with the life we were living, especially when I saw my new friends, who weren't even married. They bragged richly about their boyfriends and how much they got. Whenever we went out together, I couldn't spend as much as they did. And I was jealous. I wanted what they had, and it started to drive me into doing desperate things. I started to really miss my relationship with my ex. I started to compare them. In my head, I thought that Dave was more capable than Sam. He at least was able to provide me with anything that I needed. The way Sam spent money irritated me. He only ever gave me money after settling other bills. And it was monthly, too. The presents he got me were cheap compared to what my friends' boyfriends gave them. And so I never appreciated the gifts. I would even discard some of the gifts he got me, and I would lie that I misplaced them or was keeping them safe. I even started borrowing money from different sources just to meet up with my friends, but it wasn't enough. Nothing was. And instead of just leaving things be and focusing on my marriage, I didn't. My desperation had instead driven me into doing something really awful, something that will continue to haunt me for the rest of my life. I cheated on Sam with my ex. I wish I could say it wasn't something planned, a mistake or perhaps something else, but it wasn't. I started to stalk Dave online. I didn't intend to at first. I was just scrolling through social media one morning after Sam left for work. We had an argument that morning and he left for work without even eating. Although he texted me to apologize for walking out, I ignored his text. I just spent my time on social media instead. I was avoiding my friends because I was ashamed about how little I spent when we went out, so I had lied to them. I told them Sam was sending me on a trip to celebrate my birthday, which was in a day's time. But then I saw Dave's post on Instagram. He was engaged. He proposed to his girlfriend in an elaborate hotel, and she said yes. It was him who posted it. It was the lady, and somehow I was friends with her on Instagram. Instead of feeling happy for them, I felt something else. I felt upset, bitter, and jealous. I thought that she didn't deserve to have him. I thought he wasn't supposed to move on from me or even be happy without me. I hated seeing them smiling at each other like they were truly happy. And instead of leaving them all alone, or perhaps ignoring it, I started to search her list of friends. I wanted to get Dave's account from there. I didn't search long, though. He had commented under her post with love emojis. So I sent him a message. I wished him congratulations and happiness. He responded almost immediately with a thanks. I was happy he responded. I wanted to find out if he was marrying her because of his father. His father had always wanted him to marry from a reputable family like theirs. They had always fought about it. And I thought that if it truly was an arranged marriage, then I could swoon my way into his heart. Dave lied about it at first. He told me that he really did love her. His response made me more angry. I wanted to have my revenge. I wanted to destroy everything for them. So I kept pretending. I told him I was happily married too, so he wouldn't suspect my intentions. I lied to him about how well my husband took care of me, but then I complained that he didn't have a well-paying job, so we were struggling financially. My plan worked perfectly. Dave believed me completely, and we kept talking. Within a week of speaking, our conversation grew from general talks to our sex lives. I lied to Dave about how boring mine was, told him that my husband wasn't all that great in bed, that I mostly had to fake an orgasm. I told him I haven't gotten better since we broke up. Dave was so happy about that, and he started to send me money. At first, his excuse was, I can send you money as friends. Then eventually, it was that I needed to be pampered by a real man. He even started to open up about his relationship. He told me that he didn't love his fiancée. He was only marrying her because his dad threatened to cut him off. He also told me that she wasn't even good in bed, and that being with her made him miss me more. I was happy about it because it meant I had nothing to be jealous of. 2 weeks into our conversation over the phone, I was already sending Dave nude pictures. It was a stupid idea that I thought was really great at that time. He had sent me money that day, and I had gone shopping with my friends. And for the first time, I was able to shop without blinking at the price. My friends were so surprised and kept asking me how I got the money. I lied to them that Sam had been promoted at work, and so we had more money now. I bought a new set of lingerie, and while I was home and testing them on to see how they looked on me, I decided to send some pictures to Dave, to see how he would react to me dressed that way. Dave hadn't disappointed me. He loved the pictures and even asked for more. I was pleased and glad when he sent me even more money to get even more sexier ones. After that day, I kept sending him more pictures. At first, they were teasing pictures, but gradually grew into nude pictures. By the 3rd week of our conversation, Dave and I had arranged to meet at a hotel on the outskirts of town. We wanted to avoid being seen by anyone. We both had something to lose, which I've sadly lost anyway. I thought our first time together was amazing, especially because of the money that sat in my account heavily afterwards. We didn't even need foreplay. The nude pictures have done more than that already. Dave was waiting for me in the hotel room when I arrived. I'd never been there before. It was something so luxurious, something that I knew Sam could never afford, not unless he saved up for at least a year, but with his savings, which he always insisted on having, maybe 2 years. I was even happy when I got to the hotel. I even took some pictures without Dave knowing, just so I could brag to my friends that I had been there. After Dave and I slept together that very day, for the first time, I felt guilty. Maybe because I had seen Sam's text when I picked my phone. He was texting to ask me how my day was going. I had lied to him that I was going out to lunch with my friends. But then I dismissed the thoughts easily. Sam's love couldn't provide the things that my infidelity was. So when Dave dragged my naked body back to him on the bed for another round of sex, I went, willingly. Dave gave me another reason to dismiss my guilt even further. He sent me a huge amount while I was dressing up to leave. I was shocked when I saw that money in my account because it was the biggest I had ever had. Dave promised me even more if we continued our relationship and made sure that no one was aware of it. To be honest, I forgot all about my so-called revenge plan. I just really wanted to be with David because of the benefits I got from being with him. I felt like I was now living the way I had always wanted to. I could spend money just the way my friend did, and even more. I was going on trips that I originally would never be able to pay for, and I was buying jewelries and dresses I only ever dreamt of owning before, although I was quite limited in my spending, which annoyed me at the time. I couldn't do all of the things I wanted to completely because of Sam. There was no way I could explain to him where I was getting the money to live that sort of luxurious life. And it upset me a lot, and Dave also. I couldn't meet him half of the time, especially on weekends. I would have to lie about something, and lying about meeting my friends started to get really old. So eventually, I got an idea. I lied about getting a job, told him I was working as a secretary in an important company, and I would have to spend half my time away because the job was chaotic. Sam was surprised when I first told him I got a job. I hadn't discussed anything about a job with him before, and so I expected it. But instead of understanding that and actually explaining to him like I planned to, I got angry. I accused him of wanting me to remain a housewife and never work. I accused him of wanting a babysitter for his kids. I even went as far as telling him that he wasn't even earning enough for both of us, talkless of kids coming in. Sam was really upset but said nothing. We slept in separate rooms that night for the first time, but at that point I didn't even care. I just wanted the chance to do what I wanted. And the job was the perfect excuse. I wasn't ready to convince him or let him convince me otherwise. So the next morning I woke up and prepared for work, while Amma watched me do so quietly. I left the house earlier than him because I didn't want him offering to drop me off. And I went to the hotel that Dave and I frequented. He had some shares in the hotel, apparently. And the staff had been informed to let me into his room whenever I was there, so I went there and just literally enjoyed myself while waiting for my lover. Although Sam and I settled our argument after 2 days, he said nothing about my job afterwards, but he only said something about it one more time, and it was to ask me if my job paid that well because of the things I kept buying. I lied to him that my boss was particular about the brands of clothes and accessories we used at work. I even told him that my boss gave the workers special allowance that catered for those things. Sam said nothing afterwards, and I felt like I had permanently put a stop to Sam's questions. So I continued my lifestyle. But then I never did put something in mind. It was karma. Karma definitely didn't sit around and watch me play queen in both worlds. She dealt me a huge blow, one that I will likely never recover from. Because that day at that restaurant, the way Sam had stared at me still haunts my dream every night. I hadn't thought of tying any loose ends. In fact, I kept making more and trapping myself even further. I made a separate account on Instagram with a different name, one where I could post my luxurious trips and other things. I was even beginning to have lots of followers because they admired my lifestyle. To them, I got them from having rich parents, and I never tried to correct them. My husband had never been a fan of social media. I was certain that there was no way he was going to have access to that account, but he used that account and ruined me even further. Even though I was certain that Sam would never know about my affair, he almost caught me twice. Well, the first time had been through his sister. She never really liked me and had been against Sam marrying me in the beginning. And she had somehow found her way into the hotel where I usually was with Dave, and she saw me leaving the hotel that day. Luckily for me, Dave and I didn't leave together. She had taken the picture of me leaving the hotel and sent it to my husband. When Sam asked me about it, I denied it first. I told him I never went to a hotel, but then he brought out the picture. I told him that I had only been there because I was running an errand for my boss. I told him that my boss asked me to give his wife some gifts and wanted me to personally run the errand. I told him that I lied to him about it initially because I didn't want him to think anything of it. I didn't want him suspecting me, and that was why I lied at first. Sam said nothing afterwards, but I knew I didn't have his trust completely, so I hired some random guy to call me that weekend and ask if his wife liked the presents. After that, Sam really did believe me, but the second time I almost got caught had been the day that Sam almost read my text messages. I didn't know he was going to be home that early, so I left my phone carelessly in our bedroom. Then Dave texted me. I didn't hear Sam come in, but when I left the bathroom and saw him standing in the room with my phone, I panicked. I forgot that he didn't even know my password because I changed it, so I just snatched my phone right out his hand and got angry. I asked him why he was looking through my phone. I even went overboard to accuse him of not trusting me enough to allow me my privacy. Sam apologized that night and told me that he heard my phone beep, and he only wanted to check it. I calmed down after realizing I overreacted and told him that it was something about work, and it was quite confidential. Sam said nothing afterwards, but he didn't behave odd either, so I was confident that he believed my lies. Until that night, that horrible day. That night was our 3rd wedding anniversary. Sam had promised me that it would be special. He told me that he wanted us to do something memorable, and at first I was really excited. I thought that Sam was finally going to buy me something expensive, or maybe take me to one of those fancy restaurants that we've never been to before. But I was so disappointed when Sam sent me the address of the restaurant we were spending our special evening at. I was even angry. It was some low-class restaurant that had literally no rating at all. I wanted to punish him for doing what I called nothing for our special day, so instead of wearing the cheap knockoff that Sam had bought me weeks ago, he told me he wanted me to wear that for our special day. I brought out the necklace that Dave had given me years back. I even took a picture of me wearing it, naked. And I sent it to Dave asking if he remembered it. Dave had told me that he didn't. I had to remind him when he bought it, and he dismissed the memory. Only focused on the naked picture of me and asked if we could meet. But I gave him my excuses, which he accepted grudgingly. Sam had texted me that he couldn't pick me up because he was going there from work. So after purposely wasting my time dressing up, I booked myself a cab with the money he sent me to, and I went to the restaurant. But immediately Sam saw me. His smiling face changed. He was angry, and he didn't even bother hiding it. He didn't even allow me to sit before saying something about it. He asked me why I was wearing what I was wearing. I was confused, but then I saw his eyes on the necklace, and I tried to tell him that it was just a necklace. But Sam literally yelled at me, calling the attention of everyone in the restaurant. "You're wearing the necklace that your ex gave you to your wedding anniversary dinner?" I tried to get him to bring his voice down, but it was useless because Sam shouted at me again. He asked me to answer his question, but I was so shocked and couldn't even respond. It was the first time since we got married that I was seeing Sam that upset and also yelling at me that way. But my silence was apparently the answer because Sam stood up and left me sitting there. He didn't even bother asking how I was going to get home. I was so embarrassed and only left minutes after Sam did. Everyone at the restaurant kept staring at me and whispering. There was no doubt in my mind what they thought of me. Sam wasn't home when I got home that day, and he didn't come home at all throughout the night. I was very worried because he never reacted that way before. I thought he might know something about Dave and I. But then the next day when Sam showed up, he acted like nothing had gone wrong. He didn't particularly apologize for the whole thing that happened, but he just told me that he was putting it behind us. And being so relieved that he didn't know anything about my affair, I agreed easily. So I continued my usual lifestyle thinking nothing was wrong. I still continued seeing Dave. I never knew that I was walking into a trap, one that Sam had set for me. I didn't think anything of his strange behavior around me. I didn't stop to think of anything else but myself. He must have suspected my affair with Dave after seeing me wear the necklace, or maybe it was earlier than that. Maybe he grew suspicious over time, especially after those 2 times I had behaved suspiciously. Or maybe there were other instances that made him suspect me. I have no idea. And I don't think I will ever know now. Not when Sam isn't even speaking to me anymore. All I know is that night that I wore the necklace had been the starting point of my nemesis. He stopped spending time at home after that day. He was always busy. He told me he had some work deadlines, and I didn't even bother double-checking. I believed that he had no reason to lie to me about work, so when he wouldn't come home or text me as he usually did, I thought nothing of it at all. But 2 weeks later, Sam had gathered everything he needed to ruin me, and I knew nothing about it until that night. Someone had tagged me on social media, the one I thought Sam would never know about. The person used a nickname and had no pictures, so I couldn't even guess who it was, and the person had made a post. At first, I thought it was just some usual thing until I checked it. I was so horrified when I saw that the post was all about me. My affair with Dave was out in the open. The person posted videos of us together at the hotel. I don't know how he got those pictures and videos, but there was no doubt that it was definitely us. The most horrible thing was that there were even screenshots of our chats together. Chats of us arranging to meet, the ones where I sent him nudes. Everything was there. I was so shocked and shaken. People were attacking me. They were insulting me and reposting it. They had even tagged Dave's fiancée too on the post. I was so shocked and then frightened. I didn't want the post to get to Sam. I called him several times but got no response. I texted him severally too, telling him to come home quickly, that it was urgent. I thought that I could lie my way through things. I planned to tell him that it wasn't me, that someone was using my pictures for the wrong purpose. I wanted to tell him it was probably editing, the work of AI. But the final blow came when Sam eventually got home the next morning. The way he walked in, like he knew something that I didn't know. I rushed to him and tried to explain. I wanted to lay down my stupid excuses, but Sam just walked past me. He removed my hands from his hand like it was something disgusting. And then he smiled at me. He asked me something. "Do you like your real wedding anniversary gift?" I froze and couldn't say anything. There was doubting that Sam had made that post. My brain couldn't process anything at that moment. I kept staring at him with my mouth wide open. I didn't know what to say anymore. Sam then handed me an envelope. Without seeing what was in it, I knew immediately. My brain somehow started to function then. I went on my knees and begged him for forgiveness. I told him it was all Dave's fault, that he blackmailed me into doing it, and that I really love him. I told him I couldn't live without him, but all of my pleas just ended up on deaf ears. Sam said nothing, just watched me plead. After he was satisfied watching me cry and beg, he told me that he was giving me a day to pack the things that my lover got me out of his house. I tried to extend my stay in Sam's place, but when Sam saw me again, he got really angry and threw my things out. He didn't just throw them away. He set most of them on fire, and I was only able to take a few things with me. I wasn't even able to take the necklace that started the whole thing because Sam had thrown it into the fire before I got near. I've been staying at a hotel trying to hide from everything and everyone. The internet, my parents, and even my harsh future. It's been a week since then, and I am just completely lost. Update. A week ago, I thought that there was nothing else that could happen. I thought that everything worse had already happened and that there was nothing more, but I was so wrong. I'm a complete wreck, emotionally, physically, and especially mentally. I thought that with time, everything would fade away. I even thought that time would heal the wounds, but I just was lying to myself. There's no healing from this. I've completely wrecked my present and even my future. There's no getting beyond what I've done. I've realized now that I've lost everything, and there's no fixing it. After Sam chased me out of his house, I was only able to stay at the hotel for 2 weeks before the money with me got exhausted. I had to eventually face my demon. I went home to my parents. I thought that if I got the opportunity, I would be able to explain what happened, maybe receive some sort of pity from them or something. I even thought that they would be able to help me convince Sam to take me back. But to my surprise and shock, my parents' reaction to me was no different from the insults I've received so far. My mom kept screaming at me, reminding me repeatedly that I was a disgrace and that they wanted nothing to do with me ever again. My dad didn't even need to say anything to me. His expression said it all. They hated me. My mother wouldn't even allow me into the house. My sister, who once adored me, ignored me totally. I didn't exist to them. Not after what I've done. I left there not knowing where I would go or what to do next. I haven't been able to sign the divorce papers that Sam gave me that day. I still cannot bring myself to sign it. Even knowing that Sam will never take me back, no matter how long I tried to push signing it. But I still cannot because it feels like the final end. And I'm not so sure I can take it. All my calls, my texts, and every attempt to reach out to Sam after that day has been futile, and he had blocked every access of mine to him. Sam's every action seems so brutal, but I know I deserved it. I deserve everything that I have coming my way now. I was selfish and greedy, and the fruit of it is here. The insults and the shame that has since followed me ever since that day is unbearable. I have deleted my account on Instagram, the one I created to showcase my wealth. But people came to my real account and started to drag me there too, so I had to delete it too. Even here too, you guys have not exactly minced your words. Your every comment, the insults, and your unkind wishes towards me. I see them all, even though it hurts badly, because no one understands just how difficult it is for me to carry all of this pain for the rest of my life. And as if dealing with people online wasn't enough, I am being insulted and talked about everywhere I go. It seemed like everyone knew my story. It's almost like there's no place for me to hide, no matter how hard I try. I rented a small, tiny house. From the money I got from selling the rest of the stuff, I was able to save from the fire that day at knockoff prices. But despite the fact that people around here didn't know anything about me, I still haven't experienced any sort of peace. Staring at the walls all day has done nothing but remind me of how much I used to have. My mind plays all the happy memories I have of Sam and I together. It's almost like a broken recorder that has no pause or play. No matter how hard I try to shut out my mind, it never just stops. And I hate it. I hate this situation, and I hate myself even more. I can barely look at myself in the mirror these days, because even my body reminds me of the way I had defiled my wedding vows. I hate Dave too, and I wish that I could blame him for my mistakes, but I cannot, because I did it all by myself. I was the one who went to him, seduced both his body and money. I was the selfish, crazy woman who wasn't satisfied with her husband's love and money, sadly. He too had a crash after our affair got outed. His father apparently disowned him and cut him off. His fiancée too had broken off the engagement. She even came on the internet and made a show of it, publicly insulting and dragging me online. Ever since, Dave had not contacted me. It was all a lie. All the lies he told me whenever we had sex about loving him. All the begging me to leave Sam so we could finally be together. All the promises that he would end things with his fiancée if I ever left Sam. It was all a lie. A plot to keep me for himself. He wanted to turn me into a kept mistress, but now, unfortunately, nothing is going his way or mine. He probably blamed me for the whole thing getting exposed. Funny how I'm not even pained by his silence. I'm not angry and bittered about the fact that I ruined my life for someone like him. I should have learnt my lessons the first time, but I didn't. My love of money was driving me, and has finally driven past the point of returning. The more time I spend away from Sam and my family, the more I feel like a stranger to them. It feels as if they're moving on so fast without me in the picture, and that makes me regret everything even more. I miss them. I miss them so desperately, and I wish I could just get a chance of just having them, especially Sam in my life again. I wonder what life would be like for us. Maybe I will be expecting our first child now, or perhaps have a second child, if I hadn't been so stupid and kept using contraception behind Sam's back. I thought that I wasn't ready for a family because I thought of myself too young to do so. Right now, I will give anything at all to have started that family or to start now. Perhaps if I had Sam's baby or babies, he wouldn't cut me off so totally. But I know the truth. Sam will never forgive me no matter how many kids we have together. He would probably fight me with everything he has just so I have no place in their lives. I wish so desperately that life gives me second chances, or that I have the opportunity to go in a time machine and undo the wrongs I've done. But life didn't do do-overs now, does it? Life doesn't exactly wait around till you realize your mistakes and then gives you another chance to do things over. Right this time. I wish that life was that selfless. But then that would defy all the laws of nature. Wouldn't it? What goes around definitely would come around. And in my case, it's my few weeks of fame and wealth in exchange for my entire life. I'm just stuck in the ruthless consequences of my sin. The future feels too bleak and empty, and every day that passes by, the pain, instead of becoming lesser, keeps growing, and it just hurts so badly. I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself for what I've done, or if I'll ever stop missing Sam and the life we had together. I broke us, and I will never stop regretting that fact. I will never stop wishing things were different, even those I know there will never be a way for that to happen. Maybe I should sign the divorce papers. There's no point holding on to it. Because even though we're still married on paper, Sam will never be mine again, ever.